have any scriptural evidence or basis from that. Nothing jumped out at me. So I started reading Psalms, and I found this one, and this one does a pretty decent picture of it. It's Psalm 29. Ascribe to the Lord, O mighty ones. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Worship the Lord in the splendor of his holiness. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord thunders over the mighty waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is majestic. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks in pieces the cedars of Lebanon. And my footnote here says the cedars of Lebanon are like 120 feet tall and 30 feet in circumference. So there's some pretty big trees, and his voice is just like shattering them. That's pretty big. That's pretty powerful. And the voice of the Lord strikes with flashes of lightning. The voice of the Lord shakes the desert. The Lord shakes the desert of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord twists the oaks and strips the forest bare. And in his temple all cry glory. Because that's all they can cry. And in another instance here in Exodus 19, is when Moses is going to Mount Sinai to get the Ten Commandments from God. And it says, on the morning of the third day, there was thunder and lightning with a thick cloud over the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast. Everyone in the camp trembled. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire. The smoke billowed up from it like smoke from a furnace, and the whole mountain trembled violently. And the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder. Then Moses spoke, and the voice of God answered him. The Lord descended to the top of Mount Sinai and called Moses to the top of the mountain. So Moses went up, and the Lord said to him, Go down and warn the people so they do not force their way through to see the Lord, and many of them perish. Even the priests who approach the Lord must consecrate themselves, and the Lord will break out against them. Moses said, The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai because you told us, put limits around the mountain and set it apart as holy. It's a pretty intense scene. And a little further on that. When the people saw the thunder and lightning and heard the trumpet and saw the mountain in smoke, they trembled with fear. They stayed at a distance and said to Moses, Speak to us yourself and we will listen, but do not have God speak to us or we will die. Moses said to the people, Don't be afraid. God has come to test you so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning. The people remained at a distance while Moses approached the thick darkness where God was. I think I saw a huge mountain shaking with smoke and flying from it. I'd be standing at a distance too. But and then over here in Isaiah, it's just another picture. It's chapter 6. In that year, the king Uzziah died. I saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphs, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, and with 2 they covered their feet, and 2 they were flying. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the sound of their voices shook the doorposts and thresholds of the temple, and it was filled with smoke. Isaiah says, Woe to me, I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. Like, just being in God's presence, he felt like he was going to die. He says, Woe to me, I can't even hold up against this. And that's how big God is. He's like so big and so powerful, and his holiness is something to be reverent and almost scared of. But to take away from this is really to try and focus on consecrating yourself, eliminating sin in your life, so you can have that holiness and experience it. In 1 Peter 1:13, he says, Therefore, prepare your minds for action, be self-controlled, set your hope fully on the grace to be given you when Jesus Christ is revealed. As obedient children, do not conform to the evil desires you had when you lived in ignorance, but just as he who called you is holy, so be holy in all you do. For it is written, Be holy, because I am holy. And I don't know, it's been something pretty big and pretty cool. And so I just wanted y'all to see the other side, or one of many sides of God. That's all I got.